So if you're a woman who wants to apply for a role in tech and then you're struggling, you're unsure, the first thing that I would tell you is that to have faith in yourself. That's the first and the foremost thing.
The only subject I ever avoided when I was studying was IT. I thought I hated it. I think I was just scared of it. And I fell into a role in a sales admin for an IT company and discovered I absolutely loved it.
We women, we feel that we need to be 100% sure and we need to be 100% prepared or meet 100% of the requirements before applying for a role. But in fact, every role is an opportunity for you to grow, for you to learn, and for you to achieve much more.
Have a look at the job spec. Don't look at what you can't do. Look at what you can do. And then ask yourself if you're capable of the rest, because there's a lot of skills that come outside of that spec. I always say anybody can learn a product. There's a lot of soft skills like listening and understanding.
So if you have willingness to learn and if you are curious at what you can achieve, then I would say that don't let self-doubt hold you back and just go for it.
I had been customer facing for 35 years, working with customers specifically in the higher education sector, but I'd never ever done this particular role. But again, as I said previously, I looked at the job spec and I knew that I was capable of the role and I knew I would love doing the role. Namos have empowered me, they've supported me, they encourage all of their staff to learn and to be successful. They really want not just the customers to succeed, but their staff as well.
And maybe after a few years, you'll be looking at your younger self and you will say thank you for taking that chance, showing up, and believing in yourself.
I'm a mama too, and I've got a big, busy job. And I can't do either without the flexibility of both my family and my employer, Namos. Flexibility and flexible working isn't just a line on their job advert. It's absolutely ingrained in everything that we do. It makes sure that we are there for the important things that are going on at home, but bringing our full selves to work to be able to concentrate on the important things at work.
This builds confidence, but not the guilt. Because in motherhood, each and every phase, we get guilt. So that guilt gets overcome because of this trust-based flexibility. The supportive policies that do actually work in practice.
Having an employer like Namos that says, yeah, go to the sports days, be there for the Year 4 Samba concert, do all the things that make it really, really important while still showing up to work and delivering 100%.
The family moments are equally respected as much as the technical excellence too. Because motherhood is not a limitation. Instead, it sees it as an asset, because in motherhood, we have patience, prioritization, compassion, and problem solving.
Can women have it all? No, I don't think so. I think you have to identify those non-negotiables, the really important things to you, and then make sure that everything else flexes and balances around it.
Growth doesn't require sacrifice, only authenticity. It is not that I have to compromise on one role to be excel on the other role. Both the roles complement each other. They don't have to compete. It can fuel. One role fuels the other.
Obviously, I'm female. My personal perspective is something that drives the way that I do what I do. Often I think about the societal biases that in social spaces, women are trusted more than men. So I think that helps.
When I consider what my perspective is as a female in consulting, one of the first things I think about is this sense of imposter syndrome. I think with that imposter syndrome, you're never going to assume you know the answer. You're never going to assume that because you've done XYZ in a previous project with a different customer, it will be exactly the same on the next one.
We tend to do a lot of work to make sure we have the credentials and the kudos to back up what we're saying. So we might come into the room really prepared, over-prepared maybe, with a lot of different points that show that we're clever enough, that we know what we're talking about. And then that becomes the basis for our client relationship.
probably something that could be a weakness, like imposter syndrome, is a strength in building trust, because it really makes sure we have that clarity in communication and trust with our clients. Even the concept of soft skills versus hard skills can sometimes feel quite pejorative, or soft skills are seen as something that is after the fact. It's a nice to have. It's at the bottom of the job specification for the candidate that you're looking for to join your company. But fundamentally, I think in the age of AI, when AI and automation and the technology is going to be picking up a lot of that technical heavy lifting. And so what we're left with then is really boiling down what we do. We deliver change, we deliver support and guidance through navigating technical complexity to our clients. You need to build good relationship and communicate effectively, and then you can learn the technical skills on top of that with that as a basis. And I think that as women, we sometimes exclude ourselves from those technical spaces by assuming that things are too complicated or too difficult.
So I feel more than ever that those traditionally female skills are more important. So empathy, connection, active listening. And I think we also have a responsibility to de-gender those skills so that everybody is expected to listen, expected to be empathetic, expected to have the nuance that we're often expected to have.
So a lot of people might think that you need a computer science degree or be a technical person to work in tech. That's not true.
My path couldn't have been any less deliberate in terms of getting into a technology career. So my degree was in herbal medicine, which was a complete offshoot. I ended up working in HR.
I did have an interest in the slightly more technical bits of HR. So that might be from analysing data, looking at processes.
Being aware of how the data fits together and how the data moves around the system makes it really easy to then technically think about what you want a system to do.
So because I had an interest, I would be volunteering for projects and things that would take me down a slightly more technical route. And eventually that led to me working in systems teams, later implementing Oracle from the client side. And whilst I was doing that, I did start to have a real jealousy of some of the consultants that were delivering these projects.
My first exposure to technology work was a system upgrade in an old job. And then after that, I started to seek out those sort of opportunities in secondment.
I understood the language that both sides were talking, and that just started to make me think that I could do it.
So I think having somebody on the functional side that really understands the business process and how the data gets entered into the system and how it moves around the system then enables me to have the functional conversation with the client and say, right, what do you need? And then relay that to the technical person when they've got their spec to say, right, okay, you need to get that piece of information from this place in the system and this is how it will start to look.
Don't be put off if you're not a technical person. What you need to be able to do is talk the language of clients. Clients don't want to talk a technical language. They probably don't understand all of that technical language. What they want is somebody who can understand what they need, think about the solutions that are on offer, and then play those back in a way that they will understand.
I had never even thought about doing consulting work. I'd always worked in public sector, higher education, NHS. The idea of working private sector was scary. The idea of working for a consultancy company was also scary. I was really fortunate in that I had people that I knew from my old project that already worked at Namos. And the only things I ever heard from them about Namos were how supportive it is, what a great culture they've got, what a wonderful working environment it was. And it was that gave me the confidence to reach out and say, actually, I'm looking to make a change.
I was made redundant and I only worked part-time. So I was trying to decide I wasn't really ready to retire. So I reached out to Chris Mason and had a conversation with him. And he listened. He understood what I wanted to do. He understood I wasn't ready for retirement. He appreciated I'd been in the industry a long time and therefore I had some skills that Namos could use. And he created a job for me at Namos for 2 days a week, which is what I wanted. I couldn't have asked more than that.
I love working with clients, obviously, but I also love that opportunity to work with our technical consultants. We all bring a different bit of the puzzle. I'm thinking about some of the projects I've worked on where we've had very specific requirements from clients, particularly the ones I'm thinking are around recruitment. And it took a functional person, i.e. me, to understand what the problems were, what they were trying to solve. I can do that pretty quickly because I taught their language. I've worked in the kinds of roles they've worked in. And then I was able to play those back to a technical consultant at Namos and talk through what the opportunities were to solve that problem. And I think what we do really well when we work together is I'll have what needs to happen. I get what the client needs, and the technical consultants will understand what the opportunities are, what the different solutions might be.
It's actually the people behind those brains that make a real difference. You know, the creativity that they can bring and the innovation, that's not just about being clever, that's about being good people. I think Namos is full of good people. And once you join the team, you know, we talk about hashtag Team Namos. That's not just something that we put on social media. That actually is who we are. And I think once you're part of that team, you don't want to lose being part of that team. So people stay. And you know, you see that in all the long service that we have.
It's one of the very few companies I've worked for that you can actually approach everybody from C-level down, which is really rare. I think it's a really open door policy, and they really are just one team.
Namos was growing really, really quickly. Very exciting company to be with. And I could see that there was a gap in the managed services team. So I went and I spoke to my boss at the time, and I said, I do think that with my skills, that would be a better thing for me to do for Namos. I could add more value. And he went up and he asked the various bosses, and by the end of the day, I'd moved into managed services. So they didn't just listen, they actually acted on it.
We're a really supportive team as well. We are not kind of protective of our areas or protective of our knowledge. And as a company, we're really able to support each other.
We're all busy people. There's deliveries to be met. There's timelines. There's deadlines. But actually, you know, having been here for 2 years, I know that if I need help or I want to talk something through with people, there are always plenty of people that are happy to do that. You know, there's never anything, you know, that's too much. You know, we talk about being big enough to deliver but small enough to care, and actually you see that every day. You know, my role, as I said, as a people partner, I get to work with people across the organisation, and whether they're technical and more creative, whether they're bringing sales in, I know that if I message them on Teams, they'll reply to me quickly, and they're always happy to help, and I think that's really special.
So what makes Namos special is the Team Namos spirit. It's not just a hashtag that we use on all our social media posts. It's the support from the leadership for innovation, entrepreneurial spirit, and the ability to allow people to do the right thing in their own way.
We put people first. And I feel that as somebody who works for Namos, and I see it in the way we approach our engagements with clients. My abilities and my expertise are trusted, and I'm given freedom to apply those. My opinion is sought by people senior to me in a way that shows me they really value my expertise.
Family moments are given, I mean, respected as much as the technical excellence. It is not that I have to compromise on one role to be excel on the other role. Both the roles complement each other. They don't have to compete.
Listen to what people are saying and what they're not saying, and give those creative solutions that bridge the gap between what technical solutions are available. That, I think, is where we bring more of the value.
For me, I find it a very caring company. I find it very supportive. You can talk to anybody in Namos, and everyone will try and help you.
We all have a real shared ethos around excellent delivery for our customers. A lot of us have worked on the client side and we know what good looks like. We're a really supportive team as well. We are not kind of protective of our areas or protective of our knowledge. I get to meet people on their first day and see them progress and grow through their career here. The people, that's always what everyone says when they meet me, how lovely everyone is, how friendly.
So Namos is a place which actually lives its motto. It is small enough to care, and it actually does care. It does not just care for the customers, it actually cares for their employees as well.
Namos have empowered me, they've supported me, they encourage all of their staff to learn and to be successful. They really want not just the customers to succeed, but their staff as well.
It always sounds really corny, but it's genuinely true. They genuinely care, and they make you feel like you can achieve because they're prepared to invest in you and back you. And I think that's really rare.